Have you ever had a day where you just felt like, I just hate my life? I mean, I know I have. Sometimes I get really, 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 really down on myself. And partly because I think it's because I'm a single mom and I'm trying to juggle so many areas in my life, and I'm just not able to put 100% in each area. And it makes it very frustrating for me. And I can easily convince myself that my life is just overwhelming, unfair, depressing, and just plain sad at times. But recently, I have kind of come to this understanding that I really need to be patient with myself. And I learned this through my son's grandmother. We've had several great, long, lengthy conversations, and she really kind of puts my life back into perspective. So when I start feeling this way, I just remember her story. Now, Lath was born in 1954 in Saigon, Vietnam, and she grew up during the Vietnam War. When she was 6 years old, the Viet Cong were starting to enter into South Vietnam to invade the government. So it was a really stressful and scary time for everyone. Her father was in the military, but he was an alcoholic and had a very short temper and would beat her and her mother on a fairly regular basis, and it didn't really have to be provoked by anything. He just apparently was a very bitter man. But he eventually died when she was 9 during the war, and she was put to be the head of the household, essentially. She had to take care of her other siblings, her brother who was 5 and her sister who was 2. So it was her responsibility to care for them while her mother was off in the factories trying to be the breadwinner. So she basically lost all opportunity to be a child. She had to actually drop out of school because there was so much that was asked of her. When she was 16, she decided, she kind of went through a kind of a role, identity issue. And she wanted to find something that would kind of give her a sense of purpose, feel important. So she decided that she was going to join the Army. And she did. And this is a picture of her when she was 16, when she joined. And 6 months later, she decided how much she absolutely hated it and that she just wanted to get out. She hated everything that it was. And she just wanted her freedom back. So she made a conscious decision and escaped and snuck out of the Army. And a little shortly after, probably another 6 months later, she found her first love inside the U.S. Army camp in Saigon, and where she was working. She met Billy, and Billy was obviously in the Army himself. And Billy and her, within the first 6 months of their relationship, he decided to rent a house for them. And they lived there for a little while. And then I want to say probably she was saying something about 5 months after that, they got married. And by the way, they didn't speak English or Vietnamese. Like, they didn't connect. They basically kind of figured out what each other were saying, but they weren't able to speak fluently with each other, I'll put it that way. And so 3 months after she got married, she became pregnant. But tragically, a week after she found out she was pregnant, Billy apparently got discharged and just left. And he went back to the United States and never said anything, didn't say goodbye, and left her. This was a very devastating time because she had no money, no place to go, like nothing, and was abandoned. So all of her hopes and dreams had been just completely crushed. But 8 months after he had banded her, he sent a letter asking for her to come to the United States. And this was only because his mother found out that he was actually married in Vietnam and has a child over there. So she kind of pushed him and said, you have to bring her over. So she came over here, and upon arriving in the U.S., she was quickly remarried to him and was forced to live in at her mother-in-law's house. The family was extremely bitter towards her. It was kind of an unspoken belief that she took what very little future that Billy had, and by getting pregnant and putting everyone in this situation, because it was her fault apparently. And she was hated so much that they kind of made her into a servant, and whatever the family wanted, they would make her do it. And out of fear that her husband would beat her, she would just do it. So, within a couple of years of this, she just had enough, and she made a life-altering decision to help herself, because she knew nobody else was going to do it for her. So within the first 5 years of her setting foot on the U.S. soil, she had got she learned how to speak English, write, get her driver's license. She got her GED. She really, really, really took initiative. She got divorced by her husband. She divorced her husband, and then in her 30s, I think she really started to nurture and take care of herself. Lapp stated that she was now able to say no to people and put healthy boundaries. And it was a turning point for her, because she was able to put the world's demands in her own and figure that out. And, she went and got her GED and enrolled herself into beauty school and became a hairdresser. From those accomplishments, she has had many opportunities open up for her over the years, and she's gained a lot of friends and acknowledgments for her success. I sometimes believe that it's our greater culture that likes to overly think negatively and pessimistic. We love to over-criticize everything and have no hope for any of the beautiful things. The truth is that if you want to be great in life, you have to be a model that is greatness in your own thinking. So you have to open your eyes to the beauty in front of you and celebrate it. Just celebrate what's in front of you. And it's only then will we be able to have the right mindset to enact change in our own culture. So be patient with yourself and just embrace what's in front of you. Whatever cards are dealt does not mean that you can't overcome them. You are great. You will do everything, and I have to remind myself that I can too.